Like a lot of guys my age, I like superhero movies. And one of my favorites is a box office dud from 1999 called Mystery Men. The movie featured people with lame superpowers, like Invisible Boy, who could only turn himself invisible if no one was looking. And the Spleen, whose gastrointestinal issues caused people to pass out. Now, the leader of this gang of misfits was Mr. Furious, whose power was rage. He didn't have superhuman strength or fighting ability. He just got really mad. Now, last session, we looked at the main premise of the Sermon on the Mount found in Matthew 5, verse 20. True citizens of God's kingdom have a righteousness that only comes from internal transformation, from a changed heart. In the verses that follow, Jesus gives real-world, practical examples of how this plays out. He says, here's what kingdom living looks like. And the first example he gives involves anger. Now, we all experience anger in varying degrees. If I asked you, what are the things that make you angry? You'd probably point to something outside of yourself, some kind of provocation, something happened to you that messed up your plans or your goals, like your boss gave the promotion to your coworker when you clearly deserved it. Or you got cut off in traffic, or maybe you hit your tee shot into the river. Maybe you got angry when somebody treated you poorly. They mocked you, or they disrespected you, or embarrassed you. Well, how you're feeling at the time of the anger-inducing incident can really influence the strength of your reaction. Maybe you're tired, or you're hungry, or you're worried about something else. But what I've noticed over the years about how I process anger might also be true of you. I tend to justify my anger. Sometimes instead of owning up to it, I blame others, or I make excuses for why the person or the situation caused me to get angry. Or I'll play the spiritual card and think, Jesus got angry. He flipped tables in the marketplace. Or look at the Old Testament. God straight up rages against entire nations. Well, here's the difference. I'm not Jesus. When the Lord responds in anger, it's against evil and injustice, and it's always the right kind of response. But when I get mad and lash out, it's usually not righteous anger. It's usually selfish and hurtful to other people, sometimes the people I care about the most. And when I'm confronted with that reality, when I finally get to the point of repentance and reconciliation, it makes me realize that my anger is never worth the damage that it causes to relationships. Now, the biggest challenge for me in controlling my anger is simply walking in the Spirit, submitting my will to His, being directed and empowered by Him. Moment by moment, letting God have control over my thoughts and emotions, so I don't react sinfully in the first place, but instead display the fruit of the Spirit. Honestly, it doesn't happen all the time, but when it does, it's a beautiful thing. Now, as you dig into this passage today, even if you don't struggle with anger, try to reflect on how God might be inviting you to examine your own internal life and how it impacts your relationships. Let Him get to the heart of the matter.